Star Wars universe that we see in Solo
Featurette
is different from anything else that we've seen in
really
any previous
cool.
Star
That's
Wars
awesome
movies.
looking.
The Empire controls everything. Everyone
Awesome
is
visuals.
struggling to survive, but we discover this incredibly free spirit.
We're meeting Han right before he
Donald
becomes
G.
the Han that we know.
Gambino. The dice. So nice.
You end up getting to see how this guy got to be the way he is. It's all part
Look,
of this
that's
great
awesome. He's a mud
expansion of the
trooper.
Han Solo world.
That's cool.
It's a rite of passage.
You look good.
The tests he needs to face, the challenges he has to endure to become Han Solo.
Ooh, look at that. Good footage. That is awesome. Look at that.
Those first encounters with Chewbacca,
You're gonna need a nickname, because I ain't saying that every time.
with the Millennium Falcon, with Lando Calrissian.
Did you win your ship playing cards?
I like this kid.
They're in this movie.
I'm a driver, a great pilot.
Whoa.
He's the most exciting character
That's
in the saga
awesome.
for me. You don't know what he's gonna do.
I'm a terrible person.
He's reckless.
He does these stupid things that should never work. And they do. I'm fine! And he does it with bravado.
Oh.
That might be the
Is that how he
person
loses the left
who
side of the
knows
car?
what you really are.
What's that?
Ooh, that was, whoa, I need to see that again. What? Whoa. Wow, guys, that was really, really awesome. Featurette with Solo, guys. Now, I can tell you guys, I actually wasn't even going to watch the featurette. I've been trying to stay away from all of the TV spots for Solo. I really don't want to get spoiled with any additional footage. But of course, one of my weekly shows that I catch is Collider Jedi Council. They spoke about the featurette, and I didn't see any footage of it, but I did hear them speak about it, and you know, it just piqued my interest, especially Christian, who's been kind of skeptical, specifically when it comes to Alden Ehrenreich and his portrayal of Han Solo. And there was something here that convinced them that not so much that Alden's portrayal would work for him, but that the story would be true to the character. So if that was enough to get Christian on board, at least in regards to the story being true to the character, I had to see what it was in this featurette that convinced them so much. So guys, I can tell you that most definitely has me even more excited for this movie, and I've already been very excited for this movie. Now, one of the things that I just spoke about in my previous reaction to the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer, I kind of threw in my reaction and review of Infinity War, and of course how it applies to Ant-Man and the Wasp and how it's hyped me up to see the Ant-Man and the Wasp. And one of the things I spoke about is how Infinity War did such a great job with providing the fans exactly what they wanted, exactly what a lot of fans predicted, because most of that stuff is portrayed in the comic books, and it was very successful, and I don't think it's had anything, not even an inkling of the split in the fan base that The Last Jedi has created for Star Wars fans. And I bring that up in this particular reaction to the Solo trailer because I think looking at this Solo trailer, I think it's doing exactly what the fans want. It's giving you information that we've seen from Solo in the EU, if you're familiar with the EU, and all of the stuff that's in Legends in regards to Han Solo, you know, they have taken some of that stuff and applied it here in the movie, and you can see that in the trailer and even in the featurette. And I don't think that doing something like that, even though it's not going to surprise the fans, at least the fans who are familiar with the EU, but it will be nice for those fans who are familiar with that to get that nod and a reward for having that knowledge and reading up on that material. And I think that's one of the things that the MCU does so great, because they follow along the stories in the comic books so closely. And I think that's where Star Wars kind of drops the ball a bit, because they're trying to basically reboot Star Wars by implementing the new characters in the sequel trilogy, which is not a problem. You see the MCU doing the same thing with their superheroes, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, not necessarily new characters, but characters that have always been on the back burner now are being pushed to the forefront. And you see those particular characters being able to not only be a part of that universe, but kind of stand on their own now, where previously that would not have been the case. And then a perfect example of that is Captain Marvel. Again, spoiler guys for Infinity War, if you have not seen it. If you have not seen Infinity War, you want to skip this little part right here. But if you did catch the end credit scene, you do know that they reached out to Captain Marvel. Now, I, for one, am not a person who is very familiar with Captain Marvel, but I can tell you my interest is definitely piqued with Captain Marvel. I want to see what she's all about. I want to see what the movie's going to be all about next summer, and that is simply due to how the MCU has brought all their continuity together, and now for a character that did not matter to me previously now matters, because I want to see what her role is in this situation that we have with Infinity War. And I think that, again, that's what the MCU has going for it, and I think that's where Star Wars is kind of dropping the ball a bit. But again, I think Solo is running along those same lines right there. I think the standalone films that Disney has produced is doing a really good job of doing that. I think the saga films is where they're dropping the ball. So let me actually correct myself. In the standalone films, Rogue One and Solo, I think they're doing a great job with connecting everything with the comic books and the cartoons and everything. We saw in the Rogue One. We are not only seeing some information in regards to Solo's background from the EU, but we're also seeing some characters that were introduced in Clone Wars. The Pikes, for example, will be introduced here on film in the Solo film. So again, there's that connectivity that fans who read that material or have knowledge of that material are being rewarded with by seeing it on the big screen. And I think that is the connective glue that Star Wars needs to work with in their saga films, and they do such a really good job in their standalones. I don't see why they can't take care of that in the saga films, guys. But guys, let me know what you thought about this featurette. I thought it was absolutely cool. I love all of the additional footage that we're getting out of this, and I love the fact that it wasn't a lot of additional footage, just enough to pique your interest. You get to see more of Han and his time as an Imperial, which is really, really cool. We also find out that Woody Harrelson's character, I forget the character's name, it escapes me at the moment, but we find out that his character is also with him as an Imperial, so that is really, really interesting and great stuff to see, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost. May the Force be with you always.